Today we are going to learn about variables. A variable is a very important part of any coding language. We use variables to store values in a program. You can think of a variable like a box which is used to store a value for later use. An assignment statement gives instructions to the interpreter to store a value inside a variable. You need to type the name for the variable, followed by the equal to sign, and then the desired value to be stored in the variable. For example, let's type number equals to 25. Here, number is a variable name of our choice. We are free to choose any variable name we prefer. Equal to is the assignment operator, which here is used to assign a value to the variable number, and 25 is the actual value we are assigning to the variable number. Now, if we want to display that value stored in the variable number, we need to print like this: print number. When we run this program, we see that the value stored in the variable number is shown as the output on the shell. In our case, it is 25. Notice here that we have not enclosed number in quotes. This is important because when we want to print a variable, we do not enclose it in quotes. If we do, it will instead print a string and not the value stored in the variable. For example, if we do print and run it, we see that it prints the text number instead, which was not our desired output. So be careful to avoid this common mistake. Anytime we want to print a value of a variable, we will not put the variable in quotes. Let's try another example. Day is equal to Saturday, and print brackets. Here, the variable day is storing the text value Saturday, which will be displayed at the output screen when we print the variable day. Let's see this by running the program. There are few rules in Python when we are using the variables. Firstly, be aware that Python is a case-sensitive language, which means that uppercase text is not the same as lowercase text. So, if we give a variable name in lowercase, it has to be used in lowercase only. If instead we use the same variable name in uppercase, it would actually refer to a different variable name. Thus, if we do num is equal to 66, num is equal to 75, num is equal to 98, num is equal to 42, then num. When we run this, we will see that all the four variables called num display different values respectively. The reason for this is that even though all are num, but they are written in different cases, so there are actually four different variables here. Also be extra careful when you are using the lowercase letter l and the uppercase letter o in variables, because they could be sometimes confused with the number 1 and 0. So if you have o1 is equal to 4. Be careful when you are using these kind of variables. Second rule for variable is variable names can contain letters, numbers and underscore only. No special character is allowed. The variable name can start with a letter or underscore but not with a number. For example, these are few valid variable names. May is equal to day 7. If we run this, we see we'll get the desired output as all of these are valid variable names. However, if I try to do now, as I try to run this, this gives a syntax error because this is invalid as we cannot have a variable name begin with a number as we are done here with 4. Another rule is that spaces are not allowed in variable names. So, my space city is not a valid variable name. We can either use my city, or maybe if we want a gap between that, we can put an underscore instead, like my underscore city. Next, we cannot use certain keywords as variable names. There are 35 reserved keywords in Python language which we cannot use as our variable names. Other than that, we are free to use whichever variable names we want, subject to the conditions we have discussed. The name you choose for a variable has no maximum length, but as a good practice, we prefer to use a short and descriptive variable name. For example, if we are writing a program to calculate the salary of a Python programmer, then as a variable if we do as now this would work without any issue. But as a preferred variable name, we could have used here salary as this better describes our variable's purpose in this program. Another thing we need to keep in mind when working with variables is that a variable must be assigned an initial value in a statement before it can be used in the program. Otherwise, the interpreter would report a not defined error. For example, when run, we see that the error is reported at the shell, since the Python interpreter cannot find any initial value assigned earlier to my variable. So it says name error, name my variable is not defined. As a task for practice, I leave you with a task to write a program. Take the sentence Today today is holiday. Store each word in a separate variable and print out the words in different times using different different print. Then also print the sentence in one line using a single print statement. Now you write the code for this program. Before you save and run this program, you need to check the code properly so that you can get the desired output. Thanks for watching this video. If something is not clear to you, you can watch this video again. After that, if you still have some confusion or query, leave a comment below with your questions. If you like this video, please let us know in the comment section below. Thank you.